Jess. She is ancient. Her hormones have dried up. Ancient. At 36 and a bit. That's what comes of marrying too young. When Nell discovered she was pregnant with Jessamine, it had been Rob who insisted on marriage. He was 10 years older than she was, dynamic and exciting, and his uncontrollable passion was thrilling. She had not anticipated how soon it would fade into indifference. If they had just lived together, it would have been easier to walk away. There's one thing that changes, Nell told herself. People. Except me. I'm too stubborn to admit failure. She awakened from her reverie to realize she had not heard the click of her bank card emerging from the slot. She peered at the machine with its multicolored facade of options, like a slot machine in the arcade, only this one had to pay out. She punched buttons, waited a few seconds, and punched more buttons. Neither card nor money was forthcoming. The cash machine began making weird noises. What finally emerged was not a card. She stared at it in disbelief, then turned to the boy and girl waiting in line behind her. Attractive teenagers wearing matching sweatshirts, concentrating intently on their all-coms. Each had the other on the screen of their personal communicator. The digital conversation between the pair was silent. They were indifferent to her problem and the world at large. Mrs. Robert Bennett entered the bank lobby to the staccato accompaniment of high heels that added more pockmarks to those already scarring the imitation teak parquet. The columns supporting the high ceiling were not imitation anything. Solid red marble with acanthus leaf capitals in the Corinthian style, they had been installed about the time the trains first came to Sycamore River. The broad counters were solid oak, polished to a deep gleam by 2 centuries of transactions sliding across them. Bulletproof windows acknowledged the 21st century need for security. Cobwebs clung to the corners of the ceiling like lace draperies from a gentler time. Air conditioning chilled the lobby. Flower arrangements were strategically placed to brighten the atmosphere, but their perfume had to compete with the aroma of past generations. A faded memory of black broadcloth, celluloid collars, and mustache wax. Evening in Paris cologne, cotton wash dresses and home permanents, drip-dry suits, pancake makeup, and polyester slacks. Overlying these was the pervasive smell common to all banks, a faintly metallic whiff of concealed anxiety. The town of Sycamore River considered itself progressive, but preferred its largest bank to be traditional, civic bedrock. Eleanor Bennett headed for the row of teller's cages. Gilded bronze and floridly Baroque, they were art in their own right. The computer age had made them redundant, but one was still in use for those die-hard customers who insisted on personal attention. A gleaming brass plate below its window identified Miss Beatrice Fontaine, Chief Teller. Through the half-open door of the vice president's office, Dwayne Nyberger had observed Eleanor Bennett's arrival. "Married a war hero," he muttered to himself. "Sure she did. Homecoming queens like Nell Richmond always marry heroes. Some bastards have all the luck." Dwayne had a small pot belly and an overbite that should have been corrected in childhood, but his parents could not afford it. Nothing could correct his air of dissatisfaction with life in general. Every hunting season he went out with a supply of weapons, including a high-powered rifle and a formidable shotgun, and took out his ire on anything with fur or feathers. His wife, Tricia, had been a cheerleader in high school, the plump, pug-nosed girl at the end of the line who couldn't jump as high as the others. She had one undeniable attraction. Patricia Penelope Staunton was the daughter of O.M. Staunton, president of the bank and 4th generation of the founding family. Marrying her had been a calculated move on Dwayne's part and his one big success. She had no brothers. He would be the logical choice to succeed her father in the bank. All he had to do was wait.